أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله
Come, Ismail, come. Ikram Sheikh welcomes you to Bangladesh. Have a seat. Tell me, what is the news from Navadip?
Huzur, I have struck gold.
Gold?
Yes, yes. The deities of ISKCON Mayapur Mandir are of real solid gold.
What are you saying, Ismail? Are you sure?
Yes, Huzur, I am dead sure. In fact, just before coming here, I have even confirmed the news with an astrologer.
Is that so? Then I just need 35 people. Yes. I just need 30 to 35 people. Aslam, Yusuf, gather all our men. Take all our weapons. Swords, spears, choppers, guns and bombs. What help can we get from the Hindus, Narayan?
Help? My committed, strong, well-built men are ready to lay down their lives for you, my Sarkar. This time we have a well-planned strategy.
Yes, Huzur. This time, we'll study each and every corner of the temple. The gates, the halls, the rooms, the altar. Nothing will be spared. We shall make those Videshis bite the dust.
Yes. 24th March, 1 AM. We shall strike. We shall strike with all our power and might. This time, I want to taste success. This time, no one defeats Ikram Sheikh. No one defeats Ikram Sheikh.
Abbas, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Everyone, hold your weapons. Keep your guns and swords intact. This is our golden chance. Abbas, you go from the west. Iqbal, take the south. While me and Jamal will take the east.
Yes, Shankar. But before you get down, don't forget to indicate to Ikram Sheikh.
Now is the right time. The tiger is asleep. Take the bait. Shh. Mind your weapons. He's heard it.
The deities of ISKCON Mayapur.
Fire! Jai Srila Prabhupada!
Sarkar! Throw the bomb! Bhakti Raghav Swami! Ekadasi Prabhu! Somebody please go call the ambulance!
24th March 1984 formed a deep wound on the body of ISKCON. Their headquarters at Mayapur was attacked. This attack left the devotees injured, not only physically but also emotionally. They had just managed to rescue the deity of Srila Prabhupada, but they had lost Srimati Radharani. There was an undercurrent of insecurity in the community. This time, the leaders had to take a serious stand.
Bhavanand Prabhu, we have had enough. This time, those rogues have crossed the limit. They dared to steal Srimati Radharani and Srila Prabhupada.
Not only that, because of those rascals, Bhakti Raghav Swami has lost his leg, and Ekadashi Prabhu has suffered severe injuries.
And so many other devotees have also suffered. This incident has terrorized our entire community.
We need to take some strict action. Why not complain to the police?
Police? What will they do? We had such incidents even in the past. We filed so many complaints. But what happened? No action was taken. What do you feel, Bhavanand Prabhu?
Mahajano yena gathastapantha. Let us follow in the footsteps of the Acharyas.
In the footsteps of the Acharyas?
Yes, when similar attacks by dacoits had threatened devotees at the Yogapeeth, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his son Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had promptly installed the deities of Sri Sri Lakshmi Narsimha Dev. And do you know what? After this, there were no further disturbances.
But Bhavanand Prabhu, this is easier said than done. The pujari must be a Nashtik brahmachari, and the worship of Lord Narsimha Dev must be very strict and regulated. Who would be prepared to worship him?
If we have a strong desire, the Lord will certainly help us. Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhu, Atma Tattva Prabhu, why don't you prepare some sketches? I have a certain form in my mind. The deity's legs should be bent, ready to jump. He should be looking around ferociously. His fingers should be curled, and flames should be coming out from his head.
All right, Prabhu, we will make the sketch accordingly. But the question remains the same. Who will be ready to worship Lord Narsimha Dev?
I, Pankajangri Das, shall worship Lord Narsimha Dev. The devotees of the Lord do not depend on any material weapon or strength for their protection, but they completely take shelter of the Lord, who incarnates in various forms. Therefore, the devotees at Mayapur sought shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Narsimha Dev. Atma Tattva Prabhu was made in charge for bringing this most ferocious form of the Lord to Mayapur. He immediately left for South India, a land of rich devotional culture and celestial architecture. After a long and tiresome journey, by Krishna's grace, he soon found a renowned Sthapati. A Sthapati not only sculpts deities but is also an expert in temple architecture and engineering.
Hare Krishna. My name is Atma Tattva Das. I am from ISKCON and I have come here from Navdweep. I have heard you are one of the most famous Sthapatis of South India.
No. That is all Lord Ranganath's mercy. Come, please come. Have a seat. Your Ramalingam, coconut water kondiva. Yes, tell me, what can I do for you?
Actually, we wanted you to carve a deity for us.
Is it? What deity?
Well, the deity of Ugra Narsimha.
Ugra Narsimha? Your Paidyam? Did you say Ugra Narsimha? No. That is not possible.
But why?
No. Once I said it's not possible, means it's not possible. I will not carve this deity.
But Sthapatiji, please.
No. I am sorry. You can find someone else.
Atma Tattva Prabhu approached many deity sculptors. The answer was always the same: no. He made a number of trips between Mayapur and South India. 6 months had passed, but there was no fruitful result. Atma Tattva Prabhu was determined. He decided to once again visit the original Sthapati.
Sthapatiji, I would request you again. Please consider our case.
Okay, Atma Tattvaji. First let me read to you a chapter from this Shilpa Shastra that deals with different forms of deities. Come, sit. Here is the description of Lord Narsimha Dev. He has flame-like mane, a searching glance, and his knees are bent with 1 foot forward, ready to jump from the pillar.
I am amazed. This is exactly what we wanted. Sthapatiji, please look at the sketch.
I am impressed. I shall draw an outline based on the scriptural description, which can be used as a guide for sculpting the deity. But let me remind you, I shall not carve the deity.
It took the Sthapati a week to complete the sketch, and it was very impressive. Atma Tattva Prabhu returned to Mayapur and showed the sketch to the temple authorities. Meanwhile, the Sthapati approached his guru, the Shankaracharya of Kanpur.
over 3000 years ago by very elevated Sthapatis. There is a place on the way to Mysore where a very ferocious Ugra Narsimha is installed. The demon Hiranyakashipu is torn open on his lap, and his intestines are spilling out all over the altar. Once, the standard of worship used to be very high. There was an elephant procession and a festival every day. But gradually, the worship declined. Today, that place is like a ghost town. The whole village is deserted. No one can live there peacefully. Is that what they want for their project?
Gurudev, they are insistent. They are constantly coming to talk to me about the deity. Apparently, they have some problem with the dacoits. Gurudev, this is the deity that they want.
This is an Ugra category. But a deity in this particular mood is called Sthanu Narsimha. He doesn't exist on this planet. Even the demigods in heavenly planets don't worship a form like this. Yes, this deity belongs to Ugra category. Ugra means ferocious, very angry. There are 9 forms within this category. They are all very fierce. The one they want is Sthanu Narsimha, stepping out of the pillar. No, don't carve this deity. It will not be auspicious for you. I will talk with you about this later.
After this, the Sthapati went back home. A few nights later, the Sthapati had a wonderful dream.
My dear son, please listen to me very carefully. Every holy place has a predominating deity whose mood is accepted by all the other deities installed in that dham. The predominating deity of Navadvip is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is very merciful, and hence every deity in Mayapur will adopt that same merciful mood. Hence for them you can carve Sthanu Narsimha. My dear son, please go ahead.
Oh, was that a dream? Or was it the instruction of my guru?
Dear sir, I have a letter for you.
For me? Where is it from? Oh, it is from Kanchipuram. My Gurudev's letter. I don't believe this. It was my Gurudev's instruction. Here he writes, for ISKCON, you can carve Sthanu Narsimha.
Unaware of what had just transpired between the Sthapati and his guru, all the devotees in Mayapur wanted this same Sthapati to carve the deity. For the 3rd time, Atma Tattva Prabhu was sent back to South India to try to convince him again.
Come Atma Tattva ji. So you are back.
Yes, sir. I am back, and I am back with the same request. Please, sir, please be merciful and carve the deity for us.
Of course, I will carve the deity for you.
You will? I mean that is great. But sir, please can I ask you the reason for this sudden change in your decision?
The reason?
Then the Sthapati described to Atma Tattva Prabhu about his transactions with his Guru, about his warning, about his dream, and finally about the letter.
Look, this is my Guru's letter. I have my Guru's blessings. I will carve this deity for you.
That is simply wonderful. I am really grateful to you, sir. Please accept this advance payment. And please let me know how much time it would take to carve the deity.
To carve the deity, it will take at least 6 months.
6 months. Alright, I will meet you then.
After spending 4 peaceful months in the holy Dham of Mayapur, Atma Tattva Prabhu decided to go to South India and purchase the heavy brass paraphernalia required for Narsimha Dev's worship, and then he proceeded to collect the deity.
Hare Krishna, Sthapati ji.
Oh Atma Tattva ji, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What brings you here?
Well, I have just finished purchasing all the paraphernalia required for the worship of Lord Narsimha Dev. And now I am here to collect the deity.
Deity? What deity?
What deity? Sthapati ji, I have come here to collect the deity of Lord Ugra Narsimha.
Have you lost your senses? You have come here to collect the deity of Lord Ugra Narsimha. I haven't even found a suitable stone yet.
But you told me he would be ready in 6 months.
Yes, I will keep my promise. 6 months after I find a suitable stone.
What? But there are big slabs of stone all over South India. Then what is the problem? And besides that, what will I tell to the devotees in Mayapur?
Atma Tattva ji, I am not making a grinding mortar. I am making a deity. The scriptures tell us that only a stone that has life can be used to make a Vishnu deity. When you hit 7 points of the stone slab and they make the sound mentioned in the scriptures, only then that stone may be suitable for making a deity. But then Atma Tattva ji, there is also a second test to indicate whether the stone is a living stone or not. There is a bug that eats granite. If it eats from one side of the stone to the other and leaves a complete trail visible behind it, only then the second test of such a living stone has been passed. That stone is a living stone, Atma Tattva ji. And expressions can manifest from such a stone only. And only from such a slab can I carve your Narsimha Dev. Such a stone speaks poetry. All the features of deity sculpted from such a stone will be fully expressive and beautiful. Atma Tattva ji, please be patient. I have been searching sincerely for your 6-foot slab.
Well, it seems that I don't have a choice then. Well, Sthapati ji, the last time I came here, I forgot to tell you that we want a Prahlad Murti too. We want to worship Prahlad Narsimha. What do you think?
Well, I don't think that is possible. You want everything done exactly according to scriptures. Your Narsimha Dev will be 4 feet high. Comparatively speaking, that will make Prahlad Maharaj the size of an amoeba.
But we want Prahlad Maharaj to be 1 foot high.
Fine, but that means your Narsimha Dev will have to be about 120 feet high.
But that is not possible.
Well then, how do you expect me to carve Prahlad?
You have to.
But then, what about the comparison of the sizes?
No, that is not practically possible. You please carve as we are telling you.
Alright, I'll do that. But now, please let me do my work.
Yes, of course, Sthapati ji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Atma Tattva Prabhu shuttled back and forth from Mayapur to South India. every 30 or 40 days. Finally, the stone was found and the Sthapati became a transformed man. For over a week, he hardly spent any time at home. Hour after hour, day after day, he just sat staring at the slab. He had a chalk in hand, but didn't draw anything. He refused to allow his laborers to do anything.
So, what is the latest development, Sthapati ji?
Well, I have made a sketch on the stone.
Is that all? Sthapati ji, the Mayapur managers are becoming impatient. Are you sure this deity will be finished in 6 months?
Don't worry, don't worry. The work will be done.
After this, the Sthapati started carving the form himself with intense care and dedication. After some time, the stone had gone and the shape had come. It took the Sthapati a little over 12 months to finish carving the deity.
Finally, I have finished carving the deity of Ugra Narsimha. Oh, that was really hard work, and I sure deserve a break. Well, let me visit my friends for a few days before informing Atma Tattvaji about this. It is a monsoon season, and I feel it will be safe enough to lock up Lord Narsimha Dev securely in my thatched shed.
Two days later.
Sthapati ji! Sthapati ji! What is the matter, Subramanyam ji? Why are you so worried? Sthapati ji, your shed! What happened to my shed? Your shed is on fire!
Ayo! Tibudi chidichi! Tibudi chidichi!
What? How is that possible? It is raining so heavily and everything is wet.
Yes, but the coconut tree roof has caught fire. Come, hurry up, hurry up! Odiyenge!
Wait, I know why this is happening. First, I should call Atma Tattvaji.
Hare Krishna, Atma Tattvadas here.
Hello, Atma Tattvaji. Please come and take your deity. He is burning everything. He has made it clear. He wants to go now.
Finally, by his own will, the Lord was taken to Mayapur,
and the installation of Lord Narsimha Dev lasted for 3 days, from 28th of July to 30th July 1986. And after this, there were no further disturbances, no attacks, no robberies, no dacoits, and no injuries. With the appearance of Lord Narsimha Dev began the era of protection of the devotees, both physically and spiritually. He is the one from whom even fear personified fears. And he is the one who provides fearlessness to his devotees from any situation or calamity, just like he did to Prahlad Maharaj.
Shri Ugra Narsimha Bhagwan ki!
Yeah, when I first came to know about the drama, I was in Pune about a month ago, is it? Yeah. 1 month back. I got a chance to see it when they gave me the CD. I had heard about it before from some devotees who had attended. So, the few people I spoke to, they very much, well, they were surprised. Most of them actually were not aware of the whole history of Lord Narsimha Dev. So it's good. It's part of our, I guess, the historical development of Mayapur. And you know, in different countries, devotees go through different situations. Sometimes a little bit difficult, but Krishna is very kind to somehow overcome whatever obstacles are there. So anyways, I think it helps understand and appreciate more Lord Narsimha Dev's presence here in Mayapur. Not only Lord Narsimha Dev is protecting Mayapur, but actually the whole society. That's why Prabhupada mentioned or explained that both in the morning and in the evening, you know, we are always chanting the Narsimha Dev prayers because ISKCON as a society is actually confronting present day demonic civilization. So there's going to be opposing elements. So anyways, those who put that together, they definitely need to be congratulated. At least all of you. Yeah, I don't know who thought about it, but it was quite good. I had forgotten the actual date, but you know, when you put it as a title, March 24th, 1984, that's when the dacoits had attacked here in Mayapur. So, yeah, it was well done, and I think the more devotees who can see it, and they can understand a bit more about some of the developments here in Mayapur, and especially about Narsimha very special presence of Narsimha Dev, that whole history, and the characters that are authentic. I mean, the name who was the main person arranging it for Narsimha Dev. I can definitely confirm that I was. But at the time, I think that name probably should be changed because I was not Bhakti Raghav Swami at that time. I was Raghav Pandit. And anyways, a few little things like that, but probably nobody knows Raghav Pandit. Brahmacharya. Congratulations, and we hope more devotees can see that, and maybe they can do it in other languages also.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Just tell us. I saw the DVD, the drama. We showed it at the main stage a couple of nights ago, and that was the first time that I had seen it. And I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The opening was brilliant, very dramatic opening. And just for the record, those devotees who were playing the Muslims, that they look like Muslims. They really did. I thought it was actually Muslims playing Muslims. It was a very dramatic opening. And it really captured the attention, so my attention, I'm sure captured everybody else's attention for the rest of the drama. And the drama wasn't too long, 35 minutes or so it wasn't too long. And then it tells the wonderful story. Initially, it's a shocking start where devotees get injured, two devotees getting shot, one devotee losing his leg. So that's shocking, and then also shocking is that the deity of Srimati Radharani was stolen. So initially, the whole thing is actually quite wow. But then the pastime of the installation of the Stanu Ugra Nrsimha deity, and of course now we know that was 1984 that took place. We are now 2009, so my mathematics tells me that is 25 years ago. And 25 years on, we've never had such a problem like that. So Lord Narsimha is here now to protect us, and hopefully something as shocking as that won't happen again. But from a drama point of view, from a artistic point of view, and from an entertainment point of view, The DVD was absolutely superb.